A federal whistleblower says that Kash Patel's misuse of FBI planes is now harming investigations. Hi, my name is Suri Crowe, and you're watching the MeidasTouch Network. By now, I'm sure you've seen the mega viral video of Kash Patel celebrating the U.S. men's Olympic hockey gold medal victory in Milano, Italy. The FBI's Fox tried to spin the trip to Italy as some serious business trip that the director was taking, but the whole world could clearly see that what Kash Patel was doing was smashing beers and boozing it up with what he calls his boys, right? Well, now a whistleblower tells the Senate Judiciary Committee that Kash's mishandling of FBI resources is hurting Bureau investigations, according to NBC News.
Whistleblower has reported to the Senate Judiciary Committee Democratic ranking member Dick Durbin that FBI Director Kash Patel's use of his jet, the government jet, the FBI jet, has harmed actual investigations. The whistleblower says that in December of 2025, when there was a mass shooting at Brown University, Kash Patel was on his government FBI director jet in Florida, we are told, and that there was only one other available jet. But Patel had ordered it to be put on standby for another team. And that meant that during this mass shooting, an evidence review team based in the Washington, Virginia area that would normally immediately respond to a major crisis, a major crime scene like this, was delayed. They could not use the plane. And instead, they drove through the night of the 13th and the early morning of the 14th to get to Providence, Rhode Island from Virginia. They happened to also drive through a snowstorm to get there, but they were significantly delayed, according to this whistleblower's account. And by the way, also according to multiple sources that spoke to Ken and to me.
You guys have also been reporting on the various trips that he's taken. There's the Olympics just the other day where he was seen shotgunning a beer with the U.S. men's hockey team. But there's also been a number of trips to Nashville to see his girlfriend and the like.
That's right. When he was basically just a Trump ally, hoping Trump would be reelected for a second term, Kash Patel gave an interview in which he said they should ground Chris Wray's director jet and said that it cost $15,000 every time it took off, which is not far off actually in dollar amount. The rules require the FBI director to travel on this jet so that in a time of crisis, he can quickly be returned to secure communications or to Washington to manage said crisis. The issue inside, and this goes to your first question, Katie, the issue is that inside the FBI, agents and operatives are growing increasingly frustrated and frankly disdainful of how the director is choosing to use the jet. Whether it's for personal or for business reasons, his choices of where to fly, when, is having an impact, in their view, on the actual mission. And now Senator Dick Durbin has released a letter, which we obtained a copy of today, in which he's asking the Inspector General for the Department of Justice and the Government Accountability Office to begin to investigate his use of the jet in ways that Durbin says are harming actual criminal investigations.
Here's how Congressman Seth Moulton of Massachusetts reacted to Kash Patel's use of government resources in a recent interview.
Patel put out a tweet that said, "For the very concerned media, yes, I love America and was extremely humbled. One of my friends, the newly minted gold medal winners on Team USA, invited me into the locker room to celebrate this historic moment. Greatest country on earth and greatest sport on earth." What do you think of his justification for being there?
If Kash Patel loved America, he would hold up the Constitution. He would uphold it with his agency. He would stop firing people when they try to obey the law and it's not in the political interests of Donald Trump. He would actually speak out when Donald Trump pardons hundreds of insurrectionists who tried to overthrow our government on January 6th. Kash Patel does not love America. He loves Donald Trump. And he's trying to take every political advantage of his position that he can. That's what was going on in that locker room.
Yeah, I would argue that Kash just loves himself, or is that insecure? I mean, he's just a clown, completely unserious man at the top of a crumbling FBI, which is really sad because the FBI heretofore was the world's premier law enforcement agency. Kash is just a MAGA broadcaster who is looting the American taxpayer's wallet for self-gain, just like every other Trump cabinet member has done. He's flown the FBI private jet to his girlfriend's concerts to visit her in Nashville. He has forced FBI specially trained agents to play security detail not only for his girlfriend while she's out partying, but also reportedly for her drunk girlfriends as well while they're out in the town. He's flown to wrestling matches back and forth to Vegas where he lives because he refuses to live in DC, which is where every other FBI director has ever lived. And all this from a man who had these criticisms to say about former FBI director Christopher Wray.
I'm not saying take all their funding. I'm not the defund everything guy. I'm just saying Chris Wray doesn't need a government funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. Just a thought.
Minimum.
It's ironic that they're saying, oh, you're going on vacation or you're going to see your girlfriend perform. And if I was actually abusing it, I would go see every one of her shows. I think I get to like 15%.
Oh, cry me a flipping river, Kash. Only 15% of her concerts on the U.S. government-owned jet that we're paying for. But what do you expect from appointees who are working for a man who has pocketed more than $4 billion off of the presidency, most of it illegally, that we're paying for, who insults women while congratulating the U.S. men's only hockey team and is at the center of the largest child sex abuse trafficking ring in the world? Who else? And obviously I'm talking about Trump. So here's my take on all of this. It's utter disgust. I see this insecure little man in Kash Patel trying to be cool with the U.S. hockey team, a place that he would never be in without the fact that Donald Trump is insane and out of his rocker enough to appoint him to be FBI director, a position, by the way, that he has no business being in.
That really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And there was another exchange. Patel himself screenshotted a post by my colleague Carol Lenig underscoring what happened, why he was at the hockey game, and suggesting that it was inappropriate to even mention that because he also had official visits. None of this is going over well with current and former FBI officials.
Can you tell us more about that? What are they saying? How are they viewing this? And how much did the American taxpayer end up paying for all of this?
Well, so it's probably $100,000 just for the flight alone. But when you consider the hotel rooms, the costs of the security detail, it could be in the millions, we are being told, for this trip. And look, Kash Patel is a controversial figure. A lot of people don't like him anyway. I have never seen the kind of disgust from current and former FBI officials as we are hearing about and seeing in response to his, what they're calling his antics in the locker room. And this is from people who normally support Patel and Donald Trump. MAGA former FBI agents I'm hearing from today saying it's just not how an FBI director should act, especially when you're going over there paid for by the taxpayers on what are supposedly official visits. There's nothing he did that was inappropriate. People chug beer and celebrate all the time after championship wins, but not the FBI director. That's just not how any previous FBI director has ever behaved. Some are even pointing out that technically FBI agents are not supposed to drink alcohol while on duty. So did he violate some kind of code there? Patel, of course, is defending his conduct, as is a spokesman, and saying he was proud to be there. He was invited in by his what he called his friends. These are NHL players playing for the U.S. men's Olympic team. And Patel is an avid hockey fan and an adult hockey player. But nobody believes that Kash Patel would have been in that locker room had Donald Trump not made him the FBI director. It's not like Kash Patel is famous on his own. So he clearly used his office to get this access, and the taxpayers paid for the trip.
Yeah, I mean, it's laughable. Like, he has no idea what he's doing, and he doesn't care, obviously. He's just jetting around, wasting tax dollars and screwing up investigations. And what further resonates with me and millions of Americans is while he's beer bombing, American citizens are being shot and killed in broad daylight, and the FBI is still refusing to cooperate with Minnesota state investigators in sharing evidence in the homicides of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mom, in my hometown of Tucson, has been missing for almost a month. This is a story that is devastating and tearing up my community in Tucson, not to mention is a living nightmare for Savannah and her siblings, Annie and Cameron. Savannah, who was supposed to be hosting the Olympics for NBC in Milano. And here's Kash Patel just whooping it up over there with the guys. I mean, what a freaking insult while her mother is missing. Like, it just infuriates me. You know, as one of my best friends said, is the next big investigative tip going to be found at the Final Four, Kash? Like, it's a slap in the face to every single person who's looking to the FBI to solve a case. You know, I mean, my God, and not to mention the survivors of sex abuse who have waited decades for justice. And we know for a fact that Kash Patel and Pamela Jo Bondi tasked 1,000 FBI agents. I've done reporting on this before, took them away from other serious investigations and cases like missing persons, child sex abuse cases, multiple other serious investigations, took them away from that and devoted them to redacting Trump's name out of the FBI, Epstein files. That's what they were tasked to doing. That's where that's how far the FBI has fallen, and to essentially dox the victims themselves. So this entire situation is much, much bigger than just a crash out of Kash smashing beers a la Brett Kavanaugh style with the hockey bros. It's a punch in the gut to women and children from an administration that proves time and again that it does not give a flying fuck about any of us. It's all about the billionaire broskies. It's all about the rich people and protecting the predators. They will protect predators over the prey. That Trump can get on the phone and mock the gold medal winning women's hockey team. And that no one in that room thought, we should probably stop right now. That not one of those men had the backbone, the spine to stand up and say, this is not cool. We should stop this. Anyone? And as I am recording this, Casey Means, who is Donald Trump's pick for the Surgeon General, is in Senate hearings. She didn't complete a medical residency. She is not board certified to practice medicine in anything. And she's a wellness influencer for profit, pushing herbs and spirituality as the answers to healthcare, while we are facing a regrowth or upswing, whatever you want to call it, of measles, which was essentially eradicated before the MAGA loons decided they didn't want to do vaccines anymore, before RFK started swimming in sewage and cutting every single preventative healthcare measure that we had at the NIH. I mean, this administration is disastrous in more ways than I can name from A to Z. It is a death cult. Under Trump and Republicans, America is sicker, poorer, less educated, not protected, and more criminally minded than ever. And if you would like for that to change, then please join me in fighting like absolute hell at the midterms to clean out Congress. We have to get rid of the entrenched and corporate Democrats. And clearly we need to get rid of every single Republican that we can. And we can do it, but we have to do it collectively, and we have to do it in a landslide, because Trump and his corrupt and criminal enablers are going to do everything they can to cheat and rig the midterms. So please join with me in this fight so we can stop the madness that we have been witnessing every hour of every day. Thank you for joining me. Please follow my socials below. I'm having a lot of really interesting conversations on Substack right now, platforming progressive candidates and seeing how we can remedy the situation and move America forward to a better place. All right. I will see you back here soon. Peace.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.